going on, everybody? How's it going? My apologies. I'm sorry. Sorry I missed last week's episode of Sonny Boy. Work has been crazy. Work has been busy. So I've been staying late, logging in some extra hours, just making sure everything is all right there. What's up, Hype? How's it going? Happy Thursday. But we're back. We got 2 episodes today. And I was kind of debating on if I wanted to do 2 episodes of this show at the same time, because the show is ow. Never mind me. Okay, oh my gosh. These episodes are dense. Right, they're dense episodes. And I didn't know if I wanted to do both at the same time, but might as well, so we can just catch back up and we can continue going week to week until the series wraps up in a couple of weeks. So that's the plan. We're gonna knock out 7 and 8 today, after me stupidly thinking that episode 6 was the finale. Things have been so crazy. I haven't been able to rewatch episode 6 yet, so I may lean on a few of you to fill me in on some things that we might have figured out in between. Like, well, not now because you guys are ahead, so I may lean on you guys just a little bit. But I remember the episode. I remember it's just the little things that we spend hours investigating and analyzing. So without further ado, let me shut up babbling. Hit the pause on that. Let's mute this. There we go. All right, episode 7 of Sonny Boy. We're going to get started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. It didn't go. Go now. I'm sorry. All right, give myself some volume. $601,000. I'm sorry, I have to go back because I had no subs. Sorry. What is happening? That's our umbrella guy that we got to see at the end of episode 6. $601,000 displaced people. Apparently Nagata is the one that is causing it for everyone. That's what they're saying. So now they need to crucify him and kill him because he's responsible. Like, what? Of course. This is crazy. So it wasn't until Nagata did it until they were able to do that? Maybe? I don't know. So that was a version of Aki that was in school that she went adrift. Yeah, it is. But how do you handle an ant in your fingers like that? You have to be so delicate. It's got ants on the screen. Okay. So they sent this umbrella guy to go get Nagata, or I is I. So are we supposed? So are we just supposed to assume that because time is relevant that Nagata's power has been affecting every single one of them going adrift, even though he's just now experiencing it for the first time? He spun. Did what the heck just happened? What just happened? What just happened? What is happening? How did Nagata he gave a number? Like what? He just landed here. That visual looking straight up is really cool. I don't understand that. Are we just using the time as relevant thing? I guess that's what we're gonna use. So how long has this been happening for? Because there's so many kids. One can only assume that One class per school year goes adrift. So, how many classes could go adrift? Like, how long has the school been operational, open? Like, how does Japanese schooling work? That told me that he was on the beach as well. That doesn't make sense. Why would we be building the foundation? What? Beatnik. I like that shot. Oh wow. So this is the Tower of Babel? Is that what we're getting at? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What is that? Aren't we glad they don't have detailed pictures? It's just a silhouette. What is up with the food here? Ah! Ah! It's gross. That makes sense that they're building they're in this tower. If they keep working, they'll get to heaven. That thing coming down has said Babel on it. I don't know why they're bringing the blocks down instead of going up, but like the story behind the Tower of Babel is that there was a point in history where everyone spoke the same language and they were able to communicate, and they decided to build a tower to heaven so that they can have their own salvation. And God destroyed the tower and created language and like broke the tongue so that all the different languages what broke the tongue so that all the different languages exist. That's the story of the Tower of Babel. So I can understand how they're taking that and molding it for this series and putting it in here. I kind of like this guy. I really do. It's like he looks like a middle schooler, but how he speaks, just you can feel how tired he is. You can feel his helplessness. You can feel how tired, like you can just hear how tired he sounds. Wow. I think that's. Oh no. Oh no, don't do this to me. Why I say I like him? He's one of the few characters that I've liked just off. I just Nagato's walking up. Why is he bringing the blocks up? I wonder if he gonna do it because until someone says something to him. So it is based off the I just don't put that on my heart. I hope so. Oh really? Huh? Wow! Wow! Growth. Okay. That's a superpowered book, isn't it? Why does this feel like something terrible is gonna happen? No, they aren't. So that must be him. Damn. Damn. How you get roasted by a kid? Huh. Wait, was the little kid, was that him? Damn. I wasn't paying attention. Wow. He did pass judgment. Don't give a damn about them. Damn, he threw every. Okay. That was interesting, man. I like that episode. I don't know. Rajdade! I like me. I like her. Give us something. Wow. That's pretty cool. I think it's hilarious that he everyone else hugged him, but he hugged Nagata. He's still here. Why should I? I love that for him, man. What's up? What's up? She's back. Hmm. What's up, Weiss? Oh man, I wish I would have watched this one last week because I would have loved to go back through this one and rewatch this one. I'll rewatch it after, but I would have loved to rewatch it before watching this one. We're rolling straight into episode 8, by the way. So that's I can't remember the umbrella guy, the umbrella bat guy. What's up, X? Can't remember his name, but I understand why he created this. He used his power to create a Tower of Babel. A little bit, right, Pipe? I feel like Nozomi finding out that she dies in the real world. I think that did a number on her. So I think that's pretty tough. She already did, like, before she was like, you need to live in the moment, this, and this. But for her, she knows that everyone else graduates, but she dies. Like, so for these kids, like, what does she do? Like, everyone knows that they're graduating, they're gonna continue living on, but that she doesn't get to have that. Right? She doesn't get to have that because she's not there anymore. Episode 8. So I think that's doing a number on her. But I was mentioning the whole Tower of Babel thing. I understand why he used that because it's basically what they said of giving. It's basically giving them hope. Just like you do this mundane thing, you can get to heaven, you can get out of here. So yeah. No, thank you. That's funny. That's funny. I don't know if she's in an argument with him unless they skipped a bunch of time and something happened between the two of them. I don't know. That's pretty much how it always goes, X, with this. Wow. That's pretty busted. That's possible as well. I think she has a lot to process. An epidemic? Ah. Wow. Lying? This is tough. This is tough. Are they? Oh my gosh. I think what their standing is. Did they build a church for her and she like became their like god? There was like a book sitting in there. Was that like a was that like a Bible to her? It's pretty nasty, but okay. I think that's what it was. It just felt like because she, like how they all flocked around her, she like became a deity to them. They, like built stuff in her name. Same thing with him. And I think he turned into a dog because he said he turned into whatever she needed. And who knows how he felt about her, but she damn sure didn't feel the same way because he damn sure turned into a goddamn dog. Just existed. Just lived. This is crazy. Just turned into a dog. No, okay. Nasty snot. They told this so out of order. It's odd. Yep, there it is. She has a pretty busted ability to just control anything here. What's that under the windowsill? The window? How are they able to travel? Please, and if you know, now who does that remind me of? If you can, how are they? How did he walk around and travel between worlds? How are they traveling? I can understand how she can travel between worlds, but how is she able to travel between this worlds, various this worlds? I thought you needed the cube. Well, that's what they said. You can use the cube from last episode. She just made it supper time? I'm glad I'm not the only one that just thinks it's weird. I'm glad. Okay, pipe. Yeah, I've watched Kaguya-sama. I only started doing reactions last year, March of last year. That's when I started. Not even reactions. That's when I started uploading, March of last year. She's gonna come out and it's gonna be perfectly fine. Okay. I'm not doing that. What are you talking about that? Kind of agree. I don't know. I wonder if they're are they going to where he's from? What? I think it's I think it's interesting that everyone else has tumors but him. Is that his ability? Like I don't under everyone else has tumors but him. I don't remember what he looked like before he turned into a dog, but I don't think he had the tumors either. I don't know if the tumors were there. What's up, you? Hold on. Not wrong. He didn't have tumors. I'm sorry. I'm trying to understand you, but I don't hold on. Oh snap! I just think it's. I think there has to be something. This design. Huh? It's bugged. Right. A different this world. That's crazy. And he doesn't fall ill because he just wandered. It doesn't seem like much bothered him. Much bothered him up until before he met this girl and all of this. To materialize what was in my mind. Okay. What is he about to do? Speak. Stop speaking in riddles. Look at her. Wow. Damn. He kept ignoring it. Yeah. Sorry. I'll read. I gotta read your chat in a second. They are similar. They're very similar. Just Yamabiko went through a lot. Went through a lot. Now I gotta, in terms of loss, hasn't had to go through as much as he went through, I want to say. Oh, wow. I was gonna, say he kind of felt like the homie, Tyrus. That's what he kind of felt like. That guy appeared after Yamabiko became a dog. Maybe with his power to materialize, he materialized himself as a dog in reference to I'm always following the girl with the voice. Yes. This song is so crazy. instead of their other the original ending. Reminds me of the good guy. Not saying good guy. Tyrus. You don't know who Tyrus is saying. Just a little bit. Yeah, I think that's exactly what he did you. He turned himself into a dog because like he said it in the episode right as like when she started to bleed and he like grabbed her arm and started to like suck her blood. He was like, I basically would, like will be anything for her if she whatever she wanted me to be, I would be it. And in that moment he turned into a dog. Kind of like just being exactly what she would needed, a companion, a doggo. Just because that's how he was with her. Soundtrack is good. The soundtrack is really good. The music selection and the diversity between all the songs is just it's really apparent and it's really good. This is an episode. I'm gonna have to rewatch this episode because his backstory was something I didn't expect. His backstory is something I didn't expect. Let me pause this. Play some music just so it's not dead silent. My bad, y'all. That's what this guy War reminds me of a little bit. Just like in his position of what he wants to do, but who knows? Just like the circumstances of everything that's going down in this universe and the different people. Just how he acts just reminds me of how he is. This War guy. I don't know. Whatever this 601,000 committee people of the Adrift, whatever, blah, 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 blah. They're blaming Nagata for this. And it just makes me wonder if the time is relevant. Time's relevant. Like, no matter where you're at in time is it's relevant. All of time is happening at the same time. Like, that's what they say. So, so I don't know. It's just making me wonder how, if they're blaming Nagata for this, which I think he's just being used as a scapegoat. Like, how would that happen? Like, if we were to work in the hypothetical, if that were the case, then how? So if that guy at the hat, if War is he a materialized personality of Yamabiko? I think so, since there was a part of him where it kind of hit me with that vibe. Could have been kind of like Yamabiko's idea of War personified. How would that be how could that be in relation to what his power is? I think that would mesh with how his power works, right? Because he's able to. He said his power is that he's able to create what is inside of his mind. That's what he said, right? Or he worded it along those lines, that he's able to create what is ever in his mind. So to materialize anything that is in his mind. So if he unconsciously just had this, like his personality, just like how he feels. But why would that personality then come with its own ability? Right? You get what I mean? Like, if he was able to materialize a version of himself, if that's what we're going with, if war is a part of his identity materialized, right? then how does war then have its own ability and its own power? Is it because it's been materialized in this universe where all of this worlds exist? It then is, if then falls in line with the rule set that individuals gain abilities when they're in this universe? Is that the case? Other than, if it's not, then how does war have an ability? Said he wants to kill Kami. I don't know. Oh, excuse me. Forgive me. And why would he? And why? And if war is that, why have a power like that that's so destructive? I'm gonna have to rewatch this episode for sure. Like, why have an ability so destructive? No, that's what I'm going with that. I'm saying if that's the case, if we roll with that theory, we can't just stop there. You got to keep going. If we roll with the theory that war is that, then what? You can't half bake this theory, Pipe. You gotta fully commit. You gotta walk down each path. Once we finish walking down that path, we come up with a new theory. We walk down that path. I'm saying if that's the case, if we're operating under the fact that war could be a possible materialization of his ideals, then what? Like, how does that answer X, Y, and Z that's present? Like, how does war then have an ability? Does it fall under the play of that? Why does war have this ideal to kill God? All of this stuff. Why are these things? That feels weird for me to say that. Forgive me. Like why? Sorry, in terms of pure confusion. These episodes are always confusing. Confusion. We have to rewatch them a couple times in order to like pick up on things. I'm just trying to think, like, if war is actually a materialized personality of Yamabiko, like how does that connect to all the other story beats that have been presented to us? I don't know. Like, what is this? I wanted to say something during the episode, but it didn't hit me. Is this like, are these livestock that's on the ground? I think we ran past it. Hold on. Right there. It's just livestock. Okay. Okay, you're saying he's not. Okay. I don't think so either. I don't think so either. He gives me Satan vibes. He does. How he talks, his personality, it's all over the place. Feels very schizophrenic. Gives me that. The destruction. Gives me those vibes. Since it's gonna be more personified, and apparently everyone in the world gets powers, and why it has a power. Yeah, I was alluding to that. Every person drifted to date is or was a student from school, so he has to be maybe one of them using the name of war, trying to get kills. I like War is a student. He's wearing the school uniform. He just has a cloak over it. He is a student. It just feels like War possibly could be one of the first students that have drifted. But I think we're still operating on the fact that time is relative. So I don't know, like as to like when did the first student drift and how long ago was that? Because Yamabiko is not when did he go? When did he go adrift? He said he's been at this for 5,000 years, and this world time flows differently. So who knows? I don't know. Forgive me. I don't know. He said his goal is to kill God. And we can assume that it is to do that because of him sending them adrift in the first place. That still feels so weird for me to say. I'm not gonna say it anymore. So I don't know. I think that's it probably started off that way. And with his ability, he can't be around anyone. But Ward said to Yamabiko that you've been around me many times, right? We've met many times and many places. Like, we know that Yamabiko wandered, but I feel like if Yamabiko ever ran into War, he would understand that. But that's why I get those vibes, because War is saying that we've met before, and I feel like I just think if it gives me those vibes, because I feel like War isn't saying like I met you personally, like me, how I'm standing here today has met you, how you're standing here today. I feel like what he's saying, he's using it as a metaphor, as of you've been around death and destruction a lot, right? I've met you. I am War. I am that. Kind of like, I've already said it a couple times, but I am that. You've met me. Like he fell asleep on the bones. I walked on the bones. Who knows? War could have done that. All like he's like you're familiar with me. I think it's a metaphor on that, like a play on that. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. It's kind of not for everyone to know, but if you know, you're in the know. If he was a student, why is it Yamabiko's power what killed him? They explained that Yamabiko's power is what kept him safe from catching this. Right? It kept him safe from this because he was able to, like, he created like a mind palace in a way. He created like a mind palace. Like he was able to just like be like, that's why I think like what he said at the beginning is like I'm not mad. Like he's like, I'm not angry. I'm not happy. I just live. He's kind of like so much in himself that the elements in the outside world doesn't affect him. So when he meets this girl and she has this ability to direct anything in this world, just has no effect on him. He's not like wowed by it. He's not wowed by it because it's just like he's there. He's just there. He's not thinking about that. He's not thinking about this. He's just there. He's just living there. That could be it. So a lot of the effects that would come from other people's abilities might not even have an effect on it. I think, like, in a way, if I'm explaining that correctly and if I'm understanding that correctly, it gives me a little bit, just a tiny bit. It's not whatsoever connected at all, but a little bit of Dazai, right? Just a little bit, where it's just like it doesn't affect me. And I wonder if he can expand that. Like, it's kind of internal. I wonder if he can expand it. So, like, if at any moment could he have, like, expanded his power and included all of these people in this area, and if they were able to buy into what he was saying, what was happening to them just would have stopped and it would have went away, possibly. Who knows? Who knows? I don't know. I feel like this was a deep episode. Like a deep philosophical episode. There's a lot of metaphors in this episode. You're gonna have to rewatch this episode a few times to understand some things. Last two episodes had a lot of what are they called? Not metaphors, comparisons. A lot of what is that term used? A lot of, not comparisons, a lot of influences, a lot of inspiration from a lot of things that a lot of things in my head it makes sense. Like it's spot on with the Tower of Babel thing. A lot of biblical things. That's what it feels like. These last two episodes a lot. It feels like we had this very self-contained first 6 episodes, and the world has opened up. And there's just a lot to pull from. It's kind of hard to understand. I haven't eaten much of anything today. I got like the hiccups now. I feel like I'm like trying to burp or something. It's weird. It's kind of hard to understand because that shouldn't have interfered with their powers at all, and yet it did. That's right. You're not wrong. Like, you're not wrong with that. You're not wrong. You are not wrong. You would think an ability like hers would trump other abilities, but it seemingly doesn't. Well, I think like Yamabiko is an example of that. Or is an example of that. Like, those are 2 abilities. Because I don't think her ability to direct anything worked on Yamabiko. I don't think it did. I just think he didn't. Right? Like, am I on the right track with that? I don't think her, like, anything she did, like, really, like he didn't. Did he? It feels like he did, but then it feels like he didn't. Because he feels different than how everyone else was. Right? Everyone else like worshipped her, and he was like her companion. So it didn't feel like her powers had influence over Yamabiko like it did the rest of them. Like, he wasn't in awe of her. He like admired her. And it kind of stopped him from like saying something, which led them down this path, which led to this entire graveyard of people. I don't know. Let me bring this back. I just want to hear what War says when they explain his ability. He gives me so much like Satan vibes. wasn't the plague that he brought, but a different this world. World where mental wounds manifested as tumors. He called that world scar art. Could war be Nagara? Right? Isn't homie from last episode died too. It feels like they should be immortal. That's a good call out move. It feels like they seem. Well, I think they're only immortal if they stay where they originally shifted from. So for our group, the school is where if they stay close, if anything happened to them, they would just revert back to the time. Like essentially, they would just be like would be reverting back to the moment they showed up, which like whatever state you were in at that moment, that's what happened to you. That's what it seemed like it was explained to us, like around episode 3 or 4ish. It could have been episode 3 or 4. So that's 3. It wasn't 4. Like 3 through 5, around that time frame. That's how it was explained to us. I want to say episode 3. So I feel like since they've wandered so far away from where they originally drifted from, then they're just individuals that are traveling from these worlds. Like they're not going to die from old age or anything, but if something were to kill them, I think they are gone. And I'm thinking, like, is war a version of Nagara? Is if Nagara is supposed to be like this very important person, like old principal dude said, like how he was important, you just had to do this, etc., etc. Like the 601,000 blah 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 blahs are blaming him. His ability, just how he's explaining it, I don't know. It feels a little similar to Nagara's, but like if Nagara refined his ability over a long period of time, because he said that he brought another world to their world. How Nagara's power work is he creates worlds. Like he creates them and he can warp the world. He can warp you and a group of people to a world, and he can then leave that world, and then you can leave that world too. He can warp a world to, like, he can do so many different things. But what if he was able just to take a world and like take its effects from a world and bring it into where they currently are now? It just feels like a more refined version of Nagara's ability. So now it's got me thinking, like, could this possibly be a different version of him? Are there a bunch of Nagaras walking around possibly? And they all have different, I don't know. I'm just like theory crafting. But the ability, it feels familiar. It feels similar. It feels very similar. But that's the thing. The guy didn't die. He reappeared later on, if I remember. What guy? Yeah, I think when we look back up, that's him walking, correct? I feel like that was him. Because I didn't know if that was him or not. Because why would we just focus on some random guy walking? That must have been him. But then that means, what about these individuals? Are they dead? Like it seems like, I don't know. But also, well, I don't know, because that the upside down world was the bad guys, it was his war, like that was his ability. So did he create that? Did he transform that? Was that a part of this world that he was in? Did he create that? Who knows? So maybe it was just like I don't know. rewatches of both episodes need to happen. I don't know if it'll happen tonight. Your boy's tired. People at work was looking at me like, "Yo, you look exhausted." I was like, "I kind of am, but we gotta get down. Like, we gotta keep going. We gotta keep working." Yeah, that was him. So was any of what Yamabiko went through real, or perhaps they just turned into those crystals and therefore didn't necessarily die? I think that's the case. I don't think they're dead, but I think she died. It seems like she died from what the girl that brought that crystal that was a person said. It feels like she said, yesterday you talked to him and you told him everything would be fine, something along those lines, and now today he's a crystal. It feels like he turned into a crystal. I don't know, we don't get to see much more of her, because it feels like whenever she's like at the grave and she's patting it down and she falls, it seems like she dies, but then we get another scene of her in the bed and she's still there. Granted, she's more covered with the crystal, so I don't know. Maybe she did turn into a crystal. Maybe they are still alive. They're just a crystal now. It's a terrible existence, but who knows? So I think you're right. I think they're just not dead. They may not be alive like how we would consider alive. They just exist as a crystal now. So was any of what Yamabiko went through real, or perhaps they just turned into those crystals? I think could it be possible that nothing he went through was real? Could that be possible? I think it was real. I'm willing to say that what he went through was a real experience. And he kind of, I put it this way, I think long story theories, all that put aside, how it feels to me, and until I rewatch and pick up some more things, it feels like Yamabiko did live that experience, and it feels like he lived that experience and had a brush with the god of death and survived, and now he gets to live and tell about it, and he can help these kids survive their encounter with that individual. That's what it feels like. It feels like death was blown into the world that they were in, and he survived it. War said he hadn't made that world, so I'm getting confused. Yeah, War's he said he brought it into their world. Unless at another part in the episode, he said he made the world that they were in. But in that scene, when he was talking to him before he walked away, he was like, "I brought this world into this world," and that world's thing was that your stresses give you tumors. So who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? We got 4 episodes left, and I don't know where this is going. I do think we see War again. You don't introduce an individual like that and just he just shows up one more time. I think War might have an interaction with our group. 1725 episode 8. So a little further, hold on. There it is. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, so how I'm perceiving that, I would have to rewatch this whole episode again. But because we know that Yamabiko was wandering, right? That's why I think I'm still leaning on the fact that this did happen. I don't think this girl, the powers, all these people died. I don't think that was a part of his imagination or something that he created. I do think that happened because it's the same way like Nagata can create a world and he can take people to that world and then the people can leave that world, but that world still exists. So I know, like, there's no telling how big of a world that this world can be. So there could be the possibility that he says that he was wandering, and in his wandering, he could have created this world. And earlier in the episode, she said that us as a group, we've wandered too. Like, she did say we wandered too. So is it possible that he wandered and created his own world and they wandered into his world? And then they found this place, they set up shop, and he eventually made it to where they were, but that is his world. I think that could be some, anything is possible. But I do think that seems logical enough given the rule sets that have been explained to us. So there's no telling how big his world could be, but they could have wandered into his world and set up shop, and then he found them, and then war wanders into this world, toting the fact that he's got a death count of tens of thousands, possibly hundreds of thousands of people. You don't know. And why her powers would work inside of his world, but then like if there's someone else that is more powerful than Yamabiko in war, and he then adds another layer on top of that because it's his world, like I don't know. That's where it starts to get a little funky. Like how if this is his world and war then applies another world's effects onto this world, would it be because Yamabiko is the creator, he doesn't fall victim to that, but because there's individuals inside of his domain, they fall victim to the status effect that war then puts on that world? In my brain, that kind of makes sense because I created the world. Like, if someone just comes in and drops some stuff in it, cool. Like, whatever, I could just dip out of this world. But because you wandered in here and someone then places status effects on it, I don't know. But then that leads me to this scene where we're at this tree, and I feel like there's a moment I probably went past it. I definitely went past it. But there's a moment where I know they had a moment in the episode where they did something at the tree before this moment where they showed the parallel between the tree on fire and that tree. Where does that come into play? Because the island that was catching on fire was the first world outside of that void world that we were in that we showed up on. That was our first world that we were on. And then because of Nagata, we then He then created a world that was identical to the island. We went to that island, and then we went through all these other worlds through his training, and then we made it back to that world where Yamabiko is from. I don't know. Where does that come into play? Because the tree and that we see in this flashback, right? The tree that we see in this flashback is directly parallel to that tree that was on fire. And seemingly Yamabiko came out of that tree. I don't know what you guys are talking about, but Pipe Dream said something about that maybe they didn't die. Then what about the medals that War has? I don't know. But that's Nagara's power, more like Yamabiko's, even if they're kind of similar in that aspect, right? You're not wrong. You're not wrong. All their abilities, like those three in general, their abilities seem a lot alike. Yamabiko's ability just to manifest the things that are in his mind, essentially creating a world, possibly. Nagara's ability to create worlds. War's ability to create worlds. I don't know. Like there, a lot of their stuff feels the same. It's very similar, I should say. Not the same, but it's very similar. I don't know. And I think Pipe brought up the whole thing that about them not dying is because who said that? Someone was that you, or was that Moon that said that aren't they supposed to be immortal? Like they're not supposed to die. How are they dying? I think that's Pipe's theory on them turning into crystals and not being dead technically came from that, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. What I say at the start of this stream, I said that 2 episodes of the show might be too much. 2 episodes of the show, I think 100% was too much for my brain. 100% was too much for my brain. and these were, and I feel like this episode 8 was a dense episode. It was very dense with a lot of things that, like how we would spend hours on the first couple of episodes. This is an episode that you can spend a long time on. Last episode, not so much, but you were right when you said it was very straightforward. If you can catch the themes and the flavors it was throwing at you, you could have figured that out a little bit quicker. But that one was very straightforward in what it seems. I think you could try to pick between like some of the Hoshi stuff, and towards the end you can pick with it. But this is the episode that I think this is the most. Oh gosh, I think this is the most dense episode we've gotten so far. Because it's the first this is the first experience that we're getting to see outside of our group that we've been following, and how life was like for them. It's the first time we get to see it, what different this worlds look like. Because so far the only other this worlds that we have seen is the island, seemingly exact copy of the island, and then the endless void, and then all of the weird like different colored worlds that Nagara was creating, and then the monkey world. Those are the only worlds that we really saw, like the mouse world and all that stuff. But this is the first world that we've seen outside of our group where it's like lived in. There's buildings, there's there's agriculture, all this stuff. So it's interesting. But I'm gonna call it. I'm tired. I'm hungry. 2 episodes of Sonny Boy. Dense. I feel like we had some good conversations. Absolutely got to rewatch. I got a lot of stuff to do. I don't know if I'll hop into Discord tonight for this rewatch. I don't know. this may be something I do at a later date, but I do want to do it. I do want to do it before the next episode comes out. So before next Thursday, I want to rewatch it in Discord. So, yeah. I like this episode 8 though. I did. I like the guy from episode 7, but I like this episode 8. Gives you a lot to think about. But that's all I got. Appreciate you guys for hanging out with me. I'm trying to keep everything full steam ahead. Continue the stream. We got 2 episodes of Vanitas coming up tomorrow, so you want to be there. Then we got 2 episodes of Odd Taxi coming back. We can finally hop back on the board. Tokyo Revengers Saturday, Remake Saturday, My Hero Sunday, Fena Sunday. I'm trying to get back on track. I need to fix my sleep schedule. But I think the channel comes a little bit first. So thank you again. Appreciate you guys, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.